So, if you're in your 20s and you're trying to better your life, I have a couple of things I've learned as a 30-year plus man. And these things I wish I learned them earlier, but there is no regrets because I mean, looking at me, I'm still young, and there are a lot of things that I have corrected, and I'm living my life based on those things I've corrected. So I have four things that I'll be telling you that are very important that you should take note of while you're living through your 20s. So the first thing is learn to say no. This is, I mean, you probably have heard this before, but let me explain why this is very important. When you're in your 20s, there are a lot of activities that will be happening. There are a lot of things that will be going on. People will be going out for parties, will be going out for events and all of that stuff. Now, I'm not saying that parties are bad. I'm not saying going meeting with friends are bad and all of that. But you should learn to say no. And the reason why I said learn to say no is this just sort of instills a form of principle in you. So, for example, you have a routine of spending your weekend watching videos like this or spending your weekend reading a book. Now, if it is convenient for you to read your book and maybe there is a party that they've invited you for during the weekend, it's fine. You can go for the party, but have you read the book that you were supposed to read that weekend? If you haven't, then you most likely don't want to go out for events like that. So, I mean, when you create this habit of saying no to people, you just sort of instill this principle and this value in you that you have priorities and you meet your priorities. Your priority at the time is reading a book over the weekend. Now, if you have a book to read and there is a party, a fun party that's going to happen, it is important that you just sort of weigh your values. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go for parties. You can decide not to read your book that weekend. I mean, you can decide to sort of sort it out, maybe read on Sunday instead of on Saturday. But what this does for you when you say no to people is that you sort of build that personality that knows what they want, even at a very young age. 20 years, a lot of us were partying. Any party you say is happening, we are already there. We are shutting things down. We are spending the small money we have. Now, also saying no to people would save you costs. And this is very important because I know experiencing something like this. I'll tell you a very quick story. When I was growing up, my when I moved to Lagos the first time, I mean after my NYC, the company I was working with at the time just sort of retained me, and then I was making 65K a month. And even with that 65K I was making, I think I was debited about 15,000 for pension and tax, right? So yeah, I mean my take home was about 53,000 or thereabouts. Now I made those monies, and I was just sort of saving just to build myself as a young man. I had saved a good amount of money that I said, okay, at the time I was living with my auntie that was in Lagos, my late auntie, and then I saved a couple of amounts just so that I could rent my own house and I could start living as a man. Could you believe that that weekend a friend called me and said, there's a party that we should go. We are going to the strip club, we are going to the club, a normal club, and also we are going to the strip club. And then it sounded exciting. And there is just this feeling when you have money with you. So I had that money. In my head, I was like, I'm not going to spend this money, but it's just the money is just there. Now, when I went out, I mean, it was a good feeling seeing strippers and all of that, girls, some beautiful girls that we came to the club with. And then there was just this urge that you cannot be in the club and you have these beautiful girls and there is nobody activating. And I was like, do you know what? I'll activate. And when I mean activate, it means I'm going to buy drinks, just going to make our table look good. So, I mean, I spent about maybe 70K in that club from my rent. I'd saved about 250,000 then to pay my rent. So I spent about 70,000 from that money. And I was like, okay, do you know what? Maybe I'll just save two of my salaries and then I'll be able to meet up. That same night, we went to another club. It was so fun. I brought out money again. My friends were like, okay, don't worry, we'll reimburse you some amount. But I mean, the point here is I spent almost everything that night. I spent almost all my money that night. I spent my first rent, the first house I was supposed to rent in Lagos. I spent everything just trying to make sure that I had a good night. And because there was pressure as a young man, don't let people pressure you, by the way. But yeah, learn to say no. And I mean, this is also a thing. Learn to say no. Don't let people pressure you. They also work together. If I had not gone for that party, I probably would have rented a house, as at the time I needed to rent the house. So that's one. The second thing I'm going to talk about is you should learn to do deep work. And when I mean deep work, this is a very, if you listen to self-help videos, you probably would have heard about deep work. Deep work is taking time to do stuff and concentrate on those stuff. So we are in this generation where you have TikTok. If you go on TikTok, you spend hours just going through people's video, people that are already successful or people that are pretending to be successful. And then you just notice that 2 hours, 3 hours has gone and you've done nothing important with your life. It is very funny, but not funny. In your 20s, if you can overcome the idea of spending time on your phone and just doing deep work. And when I say deep work is probably you want to read a book, you have maybe two chapters to read, and you say, I'm not going to touch my phone until I finish reading these two chapters. If you are able to do that in a world that is so, um, we have very short attention span, if you are able to do that, that's like a superpower for you. A lot of people would notice that in you if you are able to build that over time. So, creating this video, for example, took me a lot of time. And as I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself because there is no way I am perfect. I'm also trying to help myself as well. And that's why I'm talking to you. So, I mean, taking time to do this video, it took me a lot of time to say, okay, I need to put myself in front of the camera and talk to people that I want to talk to. So, deciding, just concentrating on something, deciding to concentrate on something that is important to you or something that you need to do for your improvement or just sort of to meet your goals or to meet your demands in life, is very important that you take time to just concentrate on doing that, other than just sitting on the phone and pressing your phone. Just imagine if I had sat down and said, oh, I'll do that video later, I'll do that video. I probably will not be recording the video at this time that I'm recording. So the first thing I said is learn to say no. People will come with a lot of enticing offers. Learn to tell them, no, don't worry. What I have is better, or what I'm doing is better. I'll probably join you later. And I'm not saying whatever they are bringing to the table might be bad, but you probably say, oh, I'll do that later, but I have something I'm already trying to do, not in a rude way, but just peacefully saying that, right? And the second thing I said is learn to concentrate, and I call it in quotes deep work. Learn to stay away from your phone, learn to stay away from the TV, learn to stay away from people, stay with yourself, improve yourself, apply for that job, apply for that role that you think you can't apply for. Do things that you're supposed to do, because by the time you are able to concentrate in this world that is distracted, you are a superhuman. The third thing I'm going to mention that is very important for you to learn in your 20s is that you should learn to talk to people. Now, all these points I'm making, they sound very simple. What's this guy talking about? Oh, you should have said something, so you should have used one big grammar or whatever. All these things I'm telling you that are very important are things that would help you moving up in life. When you're in your 30s, when you're in your 40s, when you're in your 50s, these little things that you've learned to do in your 20s will be things that you would be grateful that you learned them and you were able to do them better. Now, learn to talk to people. It's very easy for guys to talk. For example, it's very easy if I go out, it's very easy for me to talk to the next guy at the supermarket or the next guy in the gym and say, hey, bro, what's up? How do I do this? Or, hey, bro, what's that? Do you understand? It's easy to talk to guys, right? Now, it is difficult for guys to talk to women. Now, there is no format, there is no words to say. I'm not the one that will come and say, oh, approach the girl saying, hey, you are beautiful, can I take you out for dinner? No, all of those lines, There is no template on how you should approach women. But when I say talk to people, I mean talk to people. Talk to people genuinely. Meet Walk up to a woman. Now, even if you find her attractive, that should not be what should start the conversation, right? Maybe you've noticed something about her. Oh, I'm sorry, this gown looks good on you. Oh, where did you get it, or where can I get it? Just something simple. It could be anything random. It could be you asking about how many times she comes to this particular spot to get stuff because this is your first time of coming there, or you've been coming here for this long and you've not seen her before. This is your first time of seeing her. Basically, just start a conversation. Just talk. Just say anything. Basically, and I mean, one thing that's very important when people talk is that try to make yourself presentable. Like you have to be a presentable person for people to want to listen to you. You don't have to be that fine if you are not fine. I mean, you did not create yourself. So any way you look is fine. Just make sure that you're presentable. Make sure that you are good looking. You are not dirty. You are not looking shabby and all of that. But yes, just talk to people. Like it is actually not difficult to talk to women. Just talk. Hi, what's good? I like what you're doing. I like how you do this. You want to show me how to do this? Just anything at all. And the truth is, when you talk to people, some women sometimes when you talk to them, they don't respond friendly back to you. So maybe you're trying to be friendly with them and they are not friendly. You don't need to waste your time on those conversations. When you talk to someone and it looks like they don't want to talk to you back, you can bounce. You're like, oh, no problem. I really appreciate that you did that, or I really appreciate what you're doing. I really like this stuff, and that's it. And you move on. So no matter how you get rejection from women, or and when I say women, I'm not just saying talk to women. I'm saying talk to people, talk to men as well. But I'm just saying that it's actually very easy for us to talk to men than talk to women. So try the comfortable, which is talking to your fellow guy, and also try the uncomfortable, which is talking to women as well. So make sure that you're learning to talk to women because it's uncomfortable to do that. Learn to talk to them. Make sure that when you go to the grocery shop or when you go to the supermarket, you go and buy bread. Talk to the woman standing or the lady standing next to you. Just say something. Just do it uncomfortable. Learn to talk to people. Now, the reason why, I mean, I've talked about all of these things, but the reason why it's important for you to talk to people is that this is the time in your 20s, is the time when you start building your network. It's important that you build a team. And when I say team, um, I found myself in a position where someone gave me a job when we used to work in the same company. We're not so close, right? But we're also like we're just hi hello. We laugh when we have the opportunity to sit together to laugh, but we're not so close. But I realized that when I left that company, and I just casually told him that, oh, do you know what? I left that company. Oh. And I mean, when I left that company, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have so much money to take care of myself. I just told him I've left this company. I was like, oh, you can handle this thing. You can handle this thing. Now. Yes, no problem. Have somebody that wants that role. Can you go and meet this person in his office tomorrow and talk to him? Now, the reason why I'm saying this is I was lucky enough to get that. Just imagine if I didn't say that to him, or if I didn't know him in the first place, right? Even though we're not so close, it was just somebody that we knew ourselves. And then for some reason, I just told him that, oh, I've left the company that you already left to. Like, I've left that company now and I'm free to actually just freelance. I just told him out of, let me just even tell people that I've left that company just in case there is an opportunity for me. Instantly he told me that, oh, he has somebody that needs this role. Are you interested? Go and meet this person in his office. And even the salary that he told me they were going to pay me, when I got there, I was able to negotiate better. Now, basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you learn to talk to people, it's easy for you. It's easy for you to actually stand in front of people and do public speaking. It's also easy for you to negotiate. You feel confident in yourself to just sort of make some statements that you might not be able to make when you don't communicate. And you are not like you are rude, but you are able to communicate. And that's very important for somebody in your age. I'm just going to add this tip. And that's because when I was talking, I didn't plan to add this, but that's because when I was talking, I just remember that this is very important for you as a young man. Learn to take care of yourself. And I'm also talking to women. If you're a woman and you're watching this channel, learn to take care of yourself. It's very important that you learn to take care of yourself. Now, this is very important because sometimes people address you by the way you look. If you are presentable, people will address you in that manner. If you look very shabby, whether you like it or not, people will address you based off of how you look. Women would smile at you when you look good. Women will frown at you when you look good. I'm going to tell you a very funny story. So I had this, my immediate elder brother, when I was living in Warri Delta State, he had this girlfriend that he brought to the house. Maybe not a girlfriend, maybe just a girl that they were having a thing. And then I recognized that when I went to school. I schooled in Delta State University. So I saw her in Delta State University and I recognized, I was like, oh, this is my brother's baby. Let me even go and introduce myself. I was looking so shabby as a young man, so dirty. When I mean dirty, my feet were dirty, my slippers was dirty. And then I just walked up to her. I was like, "Hi, my name is this. I am so so and so person's friend." The first thing she did before she answered, sorry, I'm so so and so person's brother. The first thing she did before she answered me was to scan me from up to toe. Like I could see the disgust, not really disgust, but I could see that she was like, "Who is this dirty boy coming to talk to me?" And then I introduced myself, like, "Oh, you're Joseph's brother. Oh, nice to see you. Do you school here?" And all of that. But that single incident that happened, I could tell that women really don't want to be around men that don't look good. So if you want men and women to even respect you as a man, and even as a woman, if you want a man to actually respect you and sort of address you based off of how they've seen you. Number four, learn to detach. And this is a game changer. Trust me, guys. When I learned this in my late 20s, I realized that my life became better. Like, I was no longer emotionally invested in so many things that would usually drain me. Now, this is not saying that you have to be a wicked person or you have to be cold or you don't have to show your emotions and all of that. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm going to explain what it is. But it is very important that you listen to this point very well because this actually just changed the whole trajectory of my life. Now, learning how to detach basically is consciously reducing your emotional investments, whether it's in people, whether it's in situations, whether it's in friendship, whatever it is, reduce your emotional investments. Now, the reason why it's important for you to reduce your emotional investments, this is not you becoming wicked or cold or whatever they call it in the world. This is about you not allowing external factors dictate what how your life should go. So, for example, I know when I used to date, I'm going to give you an example. I know when I used to date this very fine girl when I was in university, and then she was very pretty. And then I would be moving with her, and then I see that some guys try to approach her, right? Even when I'm moving with her, that sort of created some form of insecurity because the guys that are moving to her, they are also good looking guys. I'm good looking, but then you also have these good looking guys that are coming to talk to her. And at that time, I was not really confident. I was still in the university. So these good looking guys who come to her, even the ones that were driving cars then I was still trekking as a young boy. But yeah, she would have all of these advances from these very rich and good looking guys. And then I would we had conversations where she would say, "Oh, there is nothing happening. She's not interested in all of those people and all of that." Now, that's not even the point. Even though she was interested, that's not really my business. What actually was wrong in that situation was that all those things were getting to me. Say, for example, she was maybe somewhere, she went for an event, and I was at home. I probably play all of those things in my head, and then when I play those things in my head, I would call her. She does not pick. I start painting pictures of maybe a guy is talking to her, or maybe a guy is kissing her in his car or something like that. Do you understand? Started playing a lot of scenarios that were not even the case, even though they were the case. Like that should have not been a problem for me if I learned how to detach. Now, I'm not saying I was not supposed to fall in love. I'm not saying I was not supposed to love someone. But when you learn to detach, you consciously know that whatever happens, if, for example, your girlfriend decides to cheat on you, or if, for example, your girlfriend decides to listen to someone else or decides to go out with another guy, that's none of your business. That's her life. And you have your own life. So whatever she's doing with her life does not really affect you, even though you guys are in a relationship. It does not necessarily affect you, but her. If you find out that she's cheating on you, you leave her and you move to the next person. And even leaving that situation, for example, would be better when you are detach, when you've learned how to detach, because you'd see some guys, for example, they're in a relationship, the girl treats the guy bad, and then she decides that she's leaving the relationship with maybe a guy she just met, and you see the guy crying and you see him saying all sorts of things: after I've done this for you, after I sacrificed this for you, and all of that. The reason why those guys do that is because they are overly emotionally attached to this person, and then it feels difficult for them to leave that situation because they've invested their emotions a lot into this. But when you're emotionally detached, I'm not saying you're not going to feel pain. I'm not saying if you break up with your girlfriend, you're not going to feel it. You feel it, but you respect yourself enough to move on with your life, because you know that whatever that person has done with their life does not directly affect you. The reason why you need to detach really is, if you don't detach, by the time you get into situations like this, and it could be in work, it could be in your office, it could be about your boss just sort of doing something to you that affects you personally. The reason why you need to detach is, if you don't learn how to detach, you would be emotionally invested in a lot of things. And then when the outcome does not play out the way you want it to play out, it messes your whole day, messes your whole week, it messes your routine. So if maybe you'd sit down to read, but because something has happened and that has messed up your whole mind, messed up your whole day, you will not be able to read, and then you start lacking in different things you're supposed to do. So it's very important that, yes, you like this person, or you like this your job, or you like this your friends. It's important that you also like yourself enough to do what's best for you. I'm going to give you another example. Say, for example, you have a couple of friends you go to the gym with, and then they decide that they are not going to the gym today. Or you call friend A, and friend A says, please, I feel tired today, I'm not going to the gym. You call friend B says, oh, I'm tired, I'm not going to the gym today. And then because they've said they are not going to the gym, you cannot go to the gym, or you decide to cancel the gym because your friends that you are attached to say they are not going to the gym. So your progress is going to stop because your friends have decided that they are not going to the gym today. Do you see how that spoils the routine or spoils the trajectory of your life? If you're a young man trying to grow yourself, trying to be the best version of yourself, you see how that spoils the whole trajectory of your life. So it's important that even when you make friends, even when you need a relationship, even when you need your partner and all of that, it is very important that you learn how to detach, learn how to consciously reduce your emotions. There are some messages to send to the woman you're in love with, and then she reads it and she's like, what is this? You feel too needy, you are too needy in that situation. Those are some of the things that would hinder your growth as a young man. I'm telling you from experience, because I used to be like that before. And then when I learned this, it became a game changer for me. I don't care. I have a I have a relationship that I like this person very well, but I really don't care what she's doing with her life. Whatever she's doing with her life is important is important to her. If she decides to go astray, that's on her. If I find out, I'm out of the game. I'm looking for the next person. I mean, that means you don't deserve me, or that's your business. Whatever you decide to do with your life, that's on you. If you want to have relationship with several guys, that's your problem. I would also eventually decide to move on when I find out that this relationship does not serve me. And that's how you should be. It's not being cold, it's just respecting yourself enough to be able to do what's best for you. So this point is very important. And the reason why I say it's very important, at this age, when you tend to fall in love and then they break your heart, of course, many of us will go through heartbreak 2 or 3 times in our lifetime as men. Some people not at all, but yes, 2 or 3 times you go through heartbreak. And when you find yourself in that situation, make sure your life does not pause because a girl broke your heart. The girl will go to Dubai with the man she broke your heart with. She'll fly private jets. She would enjoy herself. And then you'll be wallowing in pain, poverty, and pity instead of you to build your life. So it's very important that while you're also trying to enjoy your life as a young man, you're also living your best life and you're also doing what's best for you. So, I mean, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe. I'll be dropping more videos like this. Also, if you want us to talk more about this detachment thing, I think it's a very strong topic that we should talk about once in a while. I'll create a separate video about um, detachment styles and all of that, and then we can talk about it, maybe even have like a live chat session where we'll talk about it as well. So thank you very much for watching the video. Like, subscribe. I will be posting my next video very soon. Peace out.